Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am SC Romero. This is the CFB Nation. If you're a fan of college football, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you know when the freshest content drops for you. But this is the O.
All right, everybody got goals and aspirations. You know how you get those? You be the best where you're at.
What does Evan Stewart bring to the table here? In short, you get a ball.
The grass is not always green. In fact, the grass is damn green in Eugene.
Everybody has goals and admiration. You know how you get, though? You be the best of what you can, right? And to hit out today's show, we're going to talk about the coaches, man, because, hey, coach, they all got extensions. And I think this is a testament to not only what these coaches mean, but to what Oregon means and why they're able to get some top recruits through the door, because it shows some loyalty. Time and time again, we see head coaches have a great season and then they go to a program, maybe an SEC school, right? Because you get that national publicity in the SEC. You see an offensive coordinator have a great season and then they go and become a head coach somewhere. You see a defensive coordinator shut down some teams and then they go and be a head coach somewhere. But not at Oregon. At Oregon, the head coach, Dan Lanning, the offensive coordinator, Will Stein, the defensive coordinator, Sas Lupui, all signed extensions, right? And now the Oregon director of athletics, Rob Mullins, said it perfectly. He said, Oregon football has reached historic heights under Dan's leadership. Dan has surrounded him, Dan as in Dan Lanning, those that don't know, Dan has surrounded himself with elite coaches. Let's talk about Dan for a little bit. Since Lanning has been with Oregon over the last 3 seasons, 35-6 as an overall record, which is third among coaches within that 3-year span. There's no better place to coach or play football than Oregon, and there has never been a better time to be a Duck. Dan Lanning says, I can agree. Quack, quack. Everybody loves to be a Duck right now. Why? Because we're holding up the O. We're being proud. Why? Because the grass is greener. We are constantly watering the grass and making sure our roots are well nurtured to get that growth to a top tier, a blue chip program, if you will. In 2023, Oregon allowed the fewest rushing yards per game. That was 2 years ago, 102.6, right? We talked about last week how last day they took a little dip, but that still is a testament, right? We went to a new conference. We had to adapt and understand, all right, these are new teams that we're playing. How do they play the game? And we did that. And I said it. If you followed throughout the season last year, at the beginning, we didn't know what our identity was, and we saw that identity grow, not only on the defensive side of the ball, but also the offensive side of the ball, right? It was great seeing it. The Ducks were the only team to score 30-plus points in every single game in 2023. In 2024, 11 games with 30-plus points. They are doing phenomenal things on both sides of the ball, and with Will Stein and Toss, at the helm, on also both sides of the ball, and with Dan Lanning at the main helm, and he has his umbrella now, there are great things to come. Again, this is a testament to not only what coaches or what programs, what players see. This is loyalty to the team, and I'm ecstatic to see everyone come back again through 2027 for the OC and the DC, and Lanning through 2030. So they're locked in with Dan Lanning, and he's consistently said how Oregon's been great to him. His family loves it here. The weather's phenomenal. He loves being a coach there. And this has nothing to do with Nike. The program is itself. The program speaks volume. I guarantee you, go to Autzen Stadium during the game. It's by far one of the best stadiums to be a part of. It doesn't matter if you're a fan of Oregon or not. Go there and experience the energy. The energy is second to none. It is one of the best programs to watch a game at. It is one of the best programs to just be excited. Why? Because they're explosive, not only on offensive side of the ball, but the defensive side of the ball. And as I mentioned earlier, Oregon is consistently nurturing the roots beneath to have phenomenal growth. So when those guys leave, as we mentioned, Ducks go pro, the next one step up. And that starts with some freshmen. Let's get into some freshman faces that you may not really know much about. First, we're going to start on the West Coast, so we're going to ease over to the east side, not far east, but just to the east side here a little bit. But on the offensive side of the ball, a freshman that could make an impact out the gate really is running back Jordon Davison out of Mater Dei. If you don't know about Mater Dei out in California, just go do some research. Go Google. I mean, they're a top tier program, and I'm not just saying top tier in California. They're a national contender year over year. They have phenomenal talent come out year over year, and Jordon Davison is another one of them. 3,499 all-purpose yards and 46 touchdowns in 3 seasons as the lead back, right? He helped Mater Dei go to a 37-2 overall record. 2024 Max Preps Player of the Year. This kid is a strong physical back. He can power through the middle of any defense. He absorbs the contact, and he knows how to quickly accelerate. What does that tell me? That's the recipe for an Oregon running back. That's the recipe for success as an Oregon running back. I'm excited to see what he does. I know Mekhi Hughes came from Tulane. I know Noah Whittington is still there. I know Oregon has stacked running backs behind some of their top guys. Jordon Davison may need to wait for his opportunity, but I promise you, when that opportunity comes, this is going to be a back that you want to remember. Jordon Davison, Mater Dei running back. Just keep an eye out for him, because if he's not starting at the running back, I don't think he was. We have plenty of talent at the running back position. But watch him if he's on special teams here and there. I'm excited to watch him in the spring game. Hopefully he's there, because this is going to be an exciting time for him. He's a great running back to go forward. But every running back, I don't care if you're an Ashton Jency. I don't care if you're a Derrick Henry. I don't care if you're a Doug Martin or a Barry Sanders. It doesn't matter what kind of running back you are. You could be the best running back in the world. You are only as great as your offensive line. And this next guy transitioned from a guard tackle to a center. I'm probably gonna mispronounce the name, so I do apologize to this young gentleman. But Alai Kalanuvalu from Bishop Gorman from Las Vegas, Nevada. Again, if you don't know Bishop Gorman, just do yourself a favor, go Google it. Top tier program. Again, not just within Nevada, nationally. One of the best programs in the nation, Bishop Gorman. Consistently producing talent. Alai is one of the new ones. I've seen some people say he is the replacement for JPJ, Jackson Powers Johnson, who also went pro, who was one of the guys that was there with, I'm talking about the Knicks and the Herberts, right? So you see this growth for him to do some great things. And Alai is a strong, powerful blocker. He has great footwork. He has really soft feet, actually, for how big he is. He moves like I won't say a running back. That's not true as a running back, but he moves quickly to assist the running back down the field if he needs to. But he also is strong, that he knows how to move his hands around to make sure your defensive tackles or your edge rushers trying to come inside aren't getting to it. Now, he might not be someone that starts day one, but he is someone that get him in that weight room, get him there, and watch him do some work. Watch him grow and watch him consistently understand how he can be a better blocker, not only in pass blocking, but also in controlling the offensive line. Every great line has a great center, and Alai could be that next center for the Oregon Ducks when the time is ready, when he steps onto the field. He has excellent IQ for the game. He understands his assignments, and once he understands that and understands what Oregon wants from him, that's going to flood into the rest of the tackles and the guards for him, because they're going to follow suit and say, okay, this is the way the offensive line needs to be. So we have Jordon Davison, but he's only going to be as great as the line. But they also have Alai coming from Bishop Gorman. This is going to be a phenomenal next level or next gen of Oregon Ducks. Again, this isn't something where if they start day one, then I'm shocked, because I'm like, damn, these guys really are that great, right? If they start day one. But this is something where it's going to be like, okay, these are guys that I'm excited to see what the growth is, what their development status is through Oregon, because they're only going to allow them to grow further. Oregon doesn't. Well, one thing I like about Oregon is they utilize their players specifically to what their strengths are. They help them get better with their weaknesses, but if they know what their strengths are, they utilize those strengths to make sure they get the best players. Winning football, as Dan Lanning likes to call it, right? And speaking of winning football, there's two sides to every story. So there is, if you have a great offense, you better have a great defense, as we mentioned, last week. Talk about OSU, great defense. Well, we have some guys coming in the secondary as freshmen that are also going to be something special. I'm going to shout out my Texas guys, right? Dorian Brew, Conroe High School. Shout out Conroe, Texas. His mother and father were both track stars. I think his mother was at Ohio State, if I'm not mistaken, and his father was LSU, if I'm not mistaken. But his father is also a former Olympian, which is great. This kid can be the Swiss Army knife, if you will, on the defensive side of the ball because he can play your outside corner. He can play your nickel. He can also play some special teams if you wanted to, but he has speed that will allow him to blanket any wide receiver. Put him up against the fastest wide receivers, and he's going to be on them like white on rice. I promise you. This kid can close on the ball in an instinct. I've seen some plays where he looks like he's at the 50-yard line, the plays to the 30-yard line, and guess who's there before the wide receiver is even there? Dakorien Moore. Right? This kid has the playmaking ability to be something special. And I'm going to be excited if they have him on special teams because he is so quick and so speedy that he can actually be that playmaker there. And then you just have him in different packages, maybe in the nickel just to cover some guys in the slot or anything like that. But again, the secondary is going to be stacked. So I don't necessarily expect this guy to get the workload out the gate. But I do see him more as a special team starter in year one, and he makes an impact like that. And again, when his time comes, bam, he's there to make a play. And the next guy is someone that's still quick, still agile, still makes the moves, but also a hard hitter. And that's going to be safety Trey McNutt from Sacred Heights in Cleveland, Ohio. This kid has a receiver background, so he understands what receivers are doing. Right? Maybe not at the college level, obviously, he's coming from high school, but he understands how receivers move. He has that flexibility and the hit movement to adjust on the ball when he needs to. He can shine as a safety, but he does have the ability to cover anywhere. If you need him to play corner, you need him to play nickel, he can. But I see him more as a safety, more of your guy that could roam around the backfield and really cover up for the mistakes that maybe the front seven or the secondary and the cornerbacks have. He's the one that's the closer. He's the one that's going to make the impact. He has, honestly, ball instincts like a linebacker. If I'm being real, this kid tackles. He wraps up aggressively. He knows what he needs to do consistently, and he knows where he needs to be. He understands his coverages. He understands if he needs to play man, he'll be on that guy, and he's going to cover them as well. The speed, not 100%. I wouldn't say he's 100% like I was talking about Dakorien Moore, but he is someone that he can close it on the ball well, and he tackles effectively as well. What we just said here with these four players, there's tons of great freshmen coming in, but with these four, it shows the versatility of what Oregon's doing. Again, the loyalty with them extending the coaches and what these players are saying. Right? Last year, when Dan Lanning was talked about, like, what do you tell players? Well, if you're afraid your coach is going to leave, come to Oregon. And I think we just stated that again. Like, look, we are here to stay. We know what we're building. It's not just a one-time run for a ship. We're trying to build a dynasty. And we know players are going to leave left and right, go pro, maybe transfer out, whatever it may be. Doesn't matter. If the core with the coaches, we talked about the OC, head coach, and DC, if the core stays intact, everything else follows, and that dynasty comes. The Oregon Ducks are on a mission to not only be a Big Ten champion again, but to also win a national championship. That mission is one step closer each and every single day. The spring game is coming up here soon, so that's going to be exciting. Maybe we see some of these freshmen on the field. Maybe we just see some impact players from the transfer portal on the field. It's going to be a fun game to watch. First game for Oregon hitting up. Until next time, everybody, I'm S.C. Romero. Peace.
Everybody got goals and aspirations. You know how you get those? You be the best where you're at.
What does Evan Stewart bring to the table here? In short, you get a baller.
The grass is not always green. In fact, the grass is damn green, Eugene.